Hello everyone, my name is Evan Jacobs. Welcome to another edition of Boxing Time TV. We have an interesting bout. This bout was supposed to happen on July 11th. Once again, it was one of those bouts that was stopped because of, or it was canceled because of the unfortunate coronavirus pandemic that we are all currently dealing with. So let's just get right to it right now. Jamal James is going to be taking on Thomas Dulorme. Jamal James is a 5-4 favorite. Jamal James is 31. Dulorme is 30. Jamal James is 6'2". And Thomas Dulorme is 5'10", as I believe I'm seeing it here. I'm just going to go. Actually, no. I'll just leave it. And they're both welterweights at 147. Jamal James 70 reach, Thomas Dulorme 73 reach. 26 wins for Jamal James, 1 loss, and that loss was to Udonis Ugas. And Thomas Dulorme 25 wins, 3 losses. He's lost to the likes of Terrence Crawford. There were some other fighters, too, that he lost to, and we'll get to that. This bout's scheduled for 12 rounds, 3-minute rounds, 10-point must scoring system, no mandatory 8-count, 3 knockdown rule waived. Let's get right to it, folks, on this episode of Boxing Time TV. Jamal James at 6'2", clearly has certain gifts physically that are probably going to help him in this encounter. He just from a boxing standpoint, Thomas Dulorme, more of kind of what it seems like to me, a rough and tumble guy that hits hard but can also be stopped and knocked out. So, and it's interesting because Jamal James, I don't think hits that hard, or at least I don't have him. Yeah, I don't think he hits as hard as Thomas Dulorme. Udonis Ugas took a decision over Jamal James. And what I think is interesting about that fight is that Ugas had been inactive for I think a long time. In fact, here, I'll get the wiki on that so that I can better give you guys information. It was actually Ugas' first fight in like over 2 years. So he comes out and he beats Jamal James. I don't know. That makes me wonder a little bit about James, but who knows? Maybe James, up and coming guy. Maybe it was a TV fight, I believe. So maybe James got kind of caught up, in the moment, and was just not ready for that type of contest. One thing I do want to also talk about, do a little bit of housekeeping. I did about yesterday, Luis Neri versus Aaron Alameda. It was a very good fight, explosive fight. And the sound cut out around the 7th round, and I don't really know what happened, other than that I did move the mic. But I moved the mic before, and that really hasn't messed with the sound. So hopefully that does not happen here. And Dulorme trying to go to the body here, trying to keep Jamal James honest. And the thing about Jamal James just sort of seems to lack killer instinct. Good fighter, good all-around boxer. Really knows how to use his physical gifts, but maybe lacks sort of the physical instinct. I'm sorry, the killer instinct. I remember hearing that about Ezzard Charles. So we'll have to see if that actually is the case here. And so that's the end of the first round. From what I'm seeing, from what I saw, that I want to say I believe that Jamal James took that round. Let's see what the judges say. Yep. Well, one judge has it even. 2 of the judges give it to Jamal James. Let's go into the second round now of this bout on Boxing Time TV. Once again, Thank you so much for tuning in. If you like what you're seeing, please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share these links. Please tell your family and friends. Hey, there's this page on YouTube. I just want to fill it with boxing content. That is my goal. That is my plan. And that's pretty much all I really want to do with this. Jamal James landing really, really nicely on the head of Thomas Dulorme. And, that's the one thing. Both fighters sort of complement each other in that Jamal James maybe lacks a little bit of the killer instinct. Thomas Dulorme maybe doesn't take the best punch, but Dulorme really isn't going to press him in that way. So we'll have to see as this bout plays out, if it plays out that way. And also, if you do want to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is BoxingTime with Evan. Please follow me. It really is just a shadow page. Although I've started to do more posts giving boxing news, and opinion, and just thoughts. Basically a lot of talk now about will bouts be done in closed doors and whatnot. And my feeling is, if you like this, if you like what's going on here on BoxingTime TV on these simulations, you'd probably be fine with closed door bouts, just because they would be fairly similar in the sense of there's no crowd. It's just kind of talking and conjecture. But what we're paying to see is the action. And both these guys are trading well here. And Jamal James has to be careful, because Thomas Dulorme packs a punch. So it remains to be seen, can he crack the chin of Jamal James? Oh man, these guys are landing on each other here. Sorry, I stepped out for a brief moment. I usually start off sitting down. I don't want to be right on top of the mic. Try to just be close enough so that I can be heard and be heard well, but at the same time, not be peaking or whatnot. And then I stand up. And I think that's what happened yesterday. Is I stood up and I turned the mic, and who knows. Either way, it's kind of a lazy Sunday, an enjoyable Sunday. Figure I'd give you guys this bout. We're in the final few seconds of the second round between Thomas Dulorme and Jamal James. And both guys are breathing heavy. From what I saw, round could have been even. They're giving it to Jamal James. Let's go right now to the third round, and Jamal James seems to be taking it, seems to be coming out, seems to be landing and doing all the right things. And you have Thomas Dulorme is going to the body and going to the head, and maybe he's trying to come on later. Although from what I've seen of him and from what I've studied about his career, doesn't seem to be one of those fighters that is really there for a long, grueling fight. Seems to be, he's there for like the first early rounds, the middle rounds, and then if he's in against a really top-notch opponent, he kind of fades a little bit. But we'll see. Dulorme may prove me wrong, and I hope he does. Those always make for the best fights. These guys are trading from long range, and it's impressive how Dulorme is able to catch him, and it's impressive how Jamal James able to land, set him up with shots like that, run the numbers. Let's look at the record of these fighters. We'll start with. very, very sorry for stepping out like that. Thought I heard an odd noise. I'll have to see what the judges say. Don't want to act like I saw the round and I did not. But wow, looks like Dulorme has a swollen eye. Jamal James breathing heavy. Thomas Dulorme, one judge giving it 10-8. Another judge giving it to Dulorme 10-9. And another judge giving it to Jamal James 10-9. So Jamal James is up by 7 points as we go into the fourth round. This is turning into a really interesting contest. And, you know, Jamal James just wants to kind of work from a distance and bust up Thomas Dulorme. And it seems like that's exactly what he's doing. And you know, you have Jamal James who's taking a chance by coming forward in the way that he is, mainly just because, you know, he doesn't want to get caught with something. But at the same time, you have Thomas Dulorme who wants him to come forward, but you know, and kind of has to take these punches. But he's taking a lot of punches from Jamal James. Jamal James being very, very accurate in this contest. And once again, you are watching BoxingTime TV. If you like what you're seeing, please like, comment, and subscribe. I want to thank everyone who has subscribed and just hoping to build this up. Just to make it a hub for simulated content. You know, there's a lot of great podcasts. There's a lot of great boxing content on YouTube. I just wanted to do something. I was like, well, how can I contribute? And I figured, well, why not use this old boxing game that I think is the best boxing game, Sierra Championship Boxing from 2013. Why not use that game and do simulated fights? And you know, so far we've done a lot of them. I think I've done pretty much all the main events that the PBC had coming up, and I think all the ones that Top Rank had coming up. Though, you know, not all the undercards and stuff like that, just because that's kind of harder to do, the undercard fighters. But that may be what I'm going to start doing, are those, you know, those small, you know, the 4 and 6 round fights, just because I really find, hold on, I'm going to rip some paper because I need to make a note. I just find that I'm reaching a point where right now I don't really have any set or bouts that were set before coronavirus. I have bouts that have been talked about set to do. Mikey Garcia versus Manny Pacquiao, Estrada versus Chocolatito, and Santa Cruz versus Davis. I'm sure over the week more bouts will come up, but as it stands right now, nothing is set. And right now, Jamal James having yet another really good round, landing well, and you know, Thomas Dulorme not out of this, but he's just taking a lot of shots, and it's, you know, reaching a point where Jamal James, I think, is going to start to take over, as long as he can keep his guard up, as long as he doesn't get caught with something from the hard punching Thomas Dulorme. And they're saying that James is breathing heavy. Dulorme's obviously tired, has a swollen eye. Jamal James takes out round 10-8 on one judge's scorecard and then 10-9 on the other judge's scorecard. You just hear it. Sorry, I'm doing something in another room. I'm doing like all these different things, but you know, you guys don't tune in to hear me talk, or maybe you do, or maybe some of you do. You hear, you know, you tune in, I think, mainly to see the action. That's why yesterday the sound kind of popping out at the end, which I don't know what happens. I'm wondering if I hit the mic or if I touched it or something. I don't know, though. I think I would have noticed that, but then again, maybe not. I have so many darn things going on. Maybe I did not. Either way, that is neither here nor there, because you guys come to see the action, and nothing that I said yesterday would change the result of what happened in that fight. Thomas Dulorme just sort of, kind of coming forward, trying to press Jamal James. Does not want to be out of this, and Jamal James is just counterpunching him beautifully, fighting with a really high guard, using his attributes. And as I said, Jamal James he's 6'2", so that's fairly tall for a welterweight. I think Thomas Hearns was 6'1" as a welterweight, has a 70-inch reach. So, Thomas Dulorme has a longer reach. His is 73 inches. The record of Jamal James, he has victories over Antonio DeMarco. Looking at who else. Like I said, he lost to Yordenis Ugas, who's a tough fighter. He has a victory over Juan Carlos Abreu. He won the Minnesota State welterweight title, has victories over Hector Orozco. So, Jamal James, a very, very, very good fighter, and just one of those guys that, on the cusp. So he's just kind of got to keep doing what he's doing. He's got to keep fighting and landing and just doing everything that he's doing. And looking at the record of Thomas Dulorme, he had a draw with Jesse Vargas, which is pretty darn good. I mean, Vargas just lost to Mikey Garcia. He lost to Yordenis Ugas, and he's lost to Terrence Crawford. Crawford, I think, stopped him in, 6. They're saying Jamal James is breathing heavy. Dulorme is very tired and his eyes swollen shut. Well, that's interesting because one judge gave that round to Jamal James. 2 of them gave it to Thomas Dulorme. So Dulorme having something of a mini rally. He's down by 10 points as we move into the 6th. Can Dulorme catch Jamal James? Will Jamal James possibly be hurt but yet have the bout stopped because Thomas Dulorme has a swollen eye? So we'll see, and that could also lead to trouble because even though Jamal James is not known as a knockout puncher, he does have knockouts. And Dulorme is handicapped in the sense of, and I'm sorry to use that word, he is having issues with that eye because he can't see it. I mean, he can't see. I'll go back to talk more about Jamal James victories over Kareem Mayfield, Hank Lundy, Hector Velasquez. He lost to Luis Carlos Abreu, which Jamal James beat. Looking at the bout with Terrence Crawford, I know he was knocked down 3 times. I want to see if he was stopped. He was stopped in round 6. Dulorme down 3 times. And right now, Jamal James just pot-shotting Thomas Dulorme. Dulorme tough, able to take some of the shots, but we'll see. Jamal James does have power. Will he be able to get a stoppage over Thomas Dulorme? And right now, Jamal James moving closer. It's dangerous because he has Thomas Dulorme hurt. He has Dulorme on the ropes. If Dulorme can counterpunch, this becomes a whole different ballgame if he can hurt James. But we'll see. So far, Jamal James fighting with a high guard and neutralizing any of the power that Thomas Dulorme may have. Oh wow! And now Dulorme has him hurt. Like I said, there's sort of that lack of killer instinct. Didn't really jump on him the way that you would hope that he would. But man, Thomas Dulorme taking a lot of shots, folks. And we'll see. You never know. This game could stop it. Doesn't always happen, but sometimes. But sometimes it does. Jamal James breathing heavy. Thomas Dulorme obviously tired, losing that round on all three judges' scorecards 10-8. So 10-8, 10-8, 10-8, and his eyes swollen shut. Folks, once again, you are watching Boxing Time TV. My name is Evan Jacobs. If you like what you're seeing, please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share these links with your family and friends. Please tell people about this page. You know, like I say, it's a simple podcast using what I believe is the best boxing game from 1983. And don't get me wrong, I admit, you know, the EA sports games, those do look better. But if you want to see a really real representation of boxing, a real theater of the unexpected, right now, Jamal James has Thomas Dulorme hurt. Well, in a regular boxing game, we would see that, you know, there's like a meter and that Dulorme was ripe for a special knockout, blah, 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 or like a special punch. You don't see that here. And right now, Jamal James, who's fighting close to Dulorme, needs to be careful because Dulorme, and I've seen it happen. It's happened a lot on Boxing Time TV. He could get cracked and get knocked out, and it doesn't matter how ahead he is. Doesn't matter how many rounds he has in the bank. This game doesn't care. And, you know, Dulorme, his eyes swollen shut. He's still in it as long as he can land a punch. So that's why I think that, and that's just why I'm glad I'm able to do this podcast, just to kind of get this content up, make this content available, and, you know, just you know, maybe get a little, you know, get people more interested in the game. I've had people direct message me, how do I play the game? How do I find the game? And my friend helped me find this game because it wasn't available for my iMac. It's from, you know, how many years ago is that? That's almost 40 years ago, folks. Oh, and Jamal James, it's just target practice now on Thomas Dulorme. And I'm telling you, I think what's happening here, and I'm going to set this up. I don't want to, I'm going to stand up. I think yesterday, maybe when I did that, I muted this. Yeah, what we are seeing is, we're seeing Jamal James take over. And what needs to happen is, they stopped the fight. Good. It's a good stoppage. Dulorme taking a lot of punches. Jamal James is going to be the winner. Clearly ahead, clearly pulling ahead. The winner is Jamal James by a TKO. The fight lasted 7 rounds. James was not knocked down. Dulorme was not knocked down, but his eyes swollen shut. And as you can see, the scores are academic here. Jamal James winning 60-52, 58-55, and 59-54. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in to Boxing Time TV. Once again, if you like what you saw here, please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share these links with your family and friends. Thank you for tuning in. And you know, as we say on Boxing Time TV, and actually before I say that, I'm going to say once again, if you want to follow me on Instagram, please follow Boxing Time with Evan. And what we always say on Boxing Time TV, our motto: why wait? Watch it now. Then watch the real thing and compare. So, you know, all these bouts that we're seeing now that are canceled will be eventually rescheduled, and you guys have them now on Boxing Time TV to kind of check and look and maybe post. And so, yeah, thank you so much for tuning in to Boxing Time TV. We'll see you at the fights.